Greetings. This is an overview of Module 3. In Module 3, we're going to be taking a deeper dive into our resources. There is one graded activity for Module 3, and that is the 3.1 Project Draft Part 1 collection of sources. This is really an annotated bibliography. And in this assignment, you'll be taking a deeper dive, looking at your sources, summarizing them, evaluating them for credibility, and talking about the relevancy to your project. So you have a lot of resources here in Module 1 to help you do that, including resources from the textbook. Some of you may have had some trouble navigating, but whenever you click on the blue titles, it'll take you directly to the textbook. So there are some models on how to write an annotated bibliography, which is what this project is called traditionally. But let's take a little closer look at what they're going to ask for in this assignment. It asks that you state the purpose of your research, state your research question, and revise it. Describe the impact of using biased sources to support your topic. And how does the presence of bias help, or what does it do to your argument? Additionally, describe diverse perspectives from your sources, if they exist. Are there multiple voices? Do they give an objective voice of giving both sides of the topic? And then you're going to list the relevant sources and describe each source briefly. You're going to summarize. You're going to talk a little bit about what the credibility is, and then you'll state briefly how the source is relevant to your research. So we also have, you'll see, a collection of exemplars, and here we'll take a quick look at one. Here is an exemplar in APA, and notice it talks, the purpose of my research is, and it's identified. The final sentence tells us your reason for interest in the topic. And if you look closely, each of these notes in the exemplar are related to a rubric row. And that is what I look for. That is how you are assessed on this project. My revised research question is, and you leading up in this revised research question to a question that can be answered, which will bring the thesis. So the next part of this is to answer the potential question. And the question here is what college districts do to overcome health care inequity among part-time faculty. Notice the answer is a thesis statement. My potential answer is community college districts must provide health care to their part-time faculty at the same level and as employee cost as full-time faculty because, and these are the three claims or key points that are in the thesis. Why should they do this? Because health of part-time faculty is important to the stability of the college. The state offers reimbursement for these costs, and health care is a human right. So there's your thesis statement. We'll talk more about that as we go through the term. Then you'll talk about kind of the sources that you'll be using. And finally, you'll address those biases and diverse perspectives. The next part is the annotated bibliography, and you will list your sources in APA or MLA. You'll give a brief summary, and when I say brief summary, I think 3 or 4 sentences. I don't see 1 or 2 sentences. And this should not be copy and pasted, obviously, from their the abstract or from the article itself. Then you'll talk about the credibility, and then finally, you'll continue and say why this source is relevant. So that is the main item for this week. Quick look at the rubric. Do you state the purpose? Did you revise the research question? Did you talk about the bias? What is the position of the author of the article that you're using? Did you talk about whether there's diverse perspectives, how it's relevant to your essay, and how it supports the topic? And that includes the credibility. So that is what we're going to do this week, and I hope that you find it helpful. As I've said before, some of these questions may seem repetitive week to week, but the goal is to consider what you're doing, look closer at what the final project will be, and to make it more focused, more clear, not too narrow, not too broad, so that your thesis statement, thus the direction of the essay, is easy to follow and is very focused and effective. If you have any questions, please contact me.